5 years ago, I solved a Rubik's Cube for the first time.
I just solved it completely by myself, no help from pictures for the first time ever.
After solving it, progress felt like an addictive drug. Like I didn't just want to get better, I needed it.
Can he do it? He did it! Yeah.
Oh, wow. 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 I did it.
10 seconds was the fastest I ever got. Improving past that felt like impossible. So 4 years ago, I stopped. But now, me and my Rubik's Cube are back, but with a different goal in mind.
It's June 12th, 9:19 a.m., and we're going to see how long it takes us to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded.
This might seem impossible, but there's actually a technique that anybody can learn with enough practice. If you want to learn exactly how I did it, the link for the video is in the description. But here's a super simplified version. A fully solved cube would go A, B, C, D. Then let's say you mix it up and now it's B, D, A, C. You swap 2 letters at a time, but the trick is you always have to swap from the same place. We call this the buffer. In this example, to solve D, we swap it with C. Now C is in the buffer, and we'll swap it with A. And then we swap A with B, and now it's solved. To do this blindfolded, all you would do is figure out the swaps you need to do by memorizing what you swap from the buffer. So for example, we started with D, and then we swapped with C, and then we swapped with A. So that's all you have to memorize. The only difference with a Rubik's Cube is there's 20 pieces, which are made up of 48 separate squares, 24 edges, and 24 corners, each square having a unique combination of moves you need to memorize to set up the piece for the swapping algorithm. And then there's 2 algorithms for swapping, one for the edges and one for the corners. Day 1, to try and understand kind of what was going on with the technique, I would do a bunch of example solves and continuously do them over and over again until I felt like I had some sort of grasp on what I was doing. After that, I decided to practice only the edges, and then after that, I would practice only the corners. The swapping algorithms were something I learned when I first solved the Rubik's Cube, so I didn't need to practice it much before it became muscle memory again. The hard part was the setup moves. So I put all the letters on the cube in Sharpie so I could try to make the setup moves muscle memory as well. I would look at a piece, for example A, then do the setup moves, and then the swapping algorithm, and then do it again. So I was just swapping the same 2 pieces back and forth over and over again. And after enough times, I would think A, and my hands would just do the moves without me thinking about it. And this is what I did for every single letter, which took a long time, but it made space in my brain to focus on just memorizing what the letters were and not have to think about the moves for each letter. The trick to memorizing the letters is to put them together to make words, and then you put those words together to make a story. The more ridiculous and dramatic the story, the easier it is to remember.
I mean, C, I always think of cat. So maybe I'll think of a green cat. T. My first blindfolded solve, guys. Oh my gosh, I actually did it. Give or take, we did it. Yo, this is sick.
If you're curious what the story is that I used to memorize my first blindfold solve, it goes like this. Snakes quickly checked on the HP computers only to find them not alive. They then led the computers to a coffin underground. The snakes hate being underground, so they just needed to verify the veins to make sure the computers were actually dead. I probably could have came up with a better story, but anyways, challenge complete. That was a fun one, and I will be doing more. So if there's any challenges that you want to see, comment them down below, and I might just try it. And by try, I mean do.